Dorothy Thompson speaking to you today from in front of the Richland County Bank in downtown Richland Center. And on the show, well, we're going to see an airport, and we'll take you there in a while. Well, the Grace events are coming up at the beginning of August, so that's something to keep in mind and put on your calendar. On the show, we're going to have a tour of the Tri-County Regional Airport down by Lone Rock. Our leader is Mark Gibbs.
This is the Tri-County Regional Airport in Sauk County, Lone Rock, Spring Green, etc.
Yeah. And it used to be called Lone Rock Airport because it's so close to Lone Rock.
And you are Mark.
And I'm Mark Higgs, airport manager. I've been here since 1989, and the airport's been here since 1923. If you draw a line from Chicago to Minneapolis and then go to the exact midpoint, that's here. And that was for the airmail pilots to have a place to land if they needed to, and also to get weather from that building there, which was a flight service station for the airmail pilots. And let's see, we got a 5,000 foot runway and a shorter 2,000 foot crosswind runway. And in the past 2 years, we've done a huge amount of work here. Completely resurfaced the main runway, put in all new runway lights, rotating beacon, approach lights, and windsock. It was on a federal grant. And then another federal grant we used. The airport had terrible flooding problems. We flooded real bad in 2008. This was all a lake. And then it happened again, I think, in 2017 and again in 2019. And so they finally decided they had to do something about it, and they put big ditches in all around the airport on both sides of the runway, and they go through a big ditch to the west and on down to Bear Creek. And the ditches are so big and the culvert's so big, I can't imagine that we could flood again at this point. So.
Well, this must have been built by the federal government since it was mail.
Yeah, originally there wasn't much building to airports back then. They mostly had grass runways. Their main investment would have been that building right there, which now is the cafe, but it used to be the flight service building where they had a weather observer and a telegraph man and that kind of thing. And also, so that was for the airmail pilots, but the airmail system didn't last that long, due mostly to casualties and incidents. But during the Second World War, this was a place they sent the training pilots from the Great Lakes Naval Air Station. So those guys came in here during the Second World War. And then in 1959, up until then it was belonged by the Civil Aviation Authority. And then in 1959, I believe, they sold it to the counties. And it was sold to Richland, Sauk, and Iowa counties. That's how it became Tri-County Airport. Mm-hmm. About 2 years ago, Iowa County pulled out of this airport because, for one thing, they have their own airport at Mineral Point. And that's pretty much the way it was the whole time until about 2 years ago. And then we had our flooding issues. Mm-hmm. There was some disagreement between the counties on how to solve the flooding issues. Iowa County felt it was going to be too expensive for them to be involved in solving that problem, so that was the primary reason that they pulled out. However, they do have their own airport at Mineral Point, which costs them a lot of money, and Richland and Sauk, of course, don't have their own airports, which they own, even though they do contribute to the other airports in their counties. but this is the only airport that all three actually had ownership of. So, so Iowa pulled out, and now it's owned just by Richland and Sauk. And they did push through with the FAA and a great deal of help from the Wisconsin Bureau of Aeronautics to get these projects through for digging the ditches and resurfacing the runway and putting in all the approach lighting and everything. The runway project was close to $4 million, and the ditch project, I believe, was about $2.5 million. So, and that's a huge improvement to the airport. Basically, the pavement work and the lights and stuff made this almost a new airport. So other than that, we have 46 hangars on the field. Everything is filled with airplanes. We have everything from small, hobby airplanes, mostly single engine, on up to corporate jets. Cardinal Glass is building a huge new hangar down there on the taxiway that they'll be putting 2 large corporate jets in. They purchased 2 new corporate jets, and they own a hangar right there, which their new jets are too big to go into, so that's why they're building a new one. This jet sitting on the ramp right here is, do you want me to go over?
Sure, let's just take a walk, and we can walk and talk.
Yeah, this jet here belongs to Kramer company out, and it's their division out of Denver, and they fly in to talk to people at their other unit at Plain. This plane has come in for some work at Johnson Brothers Flying Service, their maintenance operation on the airport. That fellow there flew in to go to the cafe. On the weekends we get a lot of planes flying in to go to the cafe. Let's see. Well, I could take you into the building then.
Yep.
This terminal building.
So this was built in 23?
That was 1923. This was built in 73.
So that makes it a pretty old airport.
Yeah, I think that the airmail thing started in 1923.
Wasn't it more common that an airport would open and be developed for military purposes rather than mail?
I would say it depends on the location.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
This one wasn't really built for military purposes, but I know that some have been. This one was primary for the mail service, and this is our terminal building. It's pretty rudimentary, but gives pilots what they need. They can come in, relax, they can use the weather computer. Most people have cell phones now, but we're still required to have a phone over there. They need to cancel their flight plan. Mm-hmm. We have that old wood stove there, which we use to supplement our heat. We of course have propane heat, but pilots like to hoover around there on a cold winter day. And it's the usual. We got washrooms, some offices in the back. And I'll bring you through here, and you can see the maintenance operation. It's run by Johnson Brothers, Ryan and Corey Johnson. They do award-winning restoration work. They've gotten Golden Lindy Awards 3 times up at Oshkosh, and they do exceptionally good work. I'll show you their operation quickly.
All right.
They primarily work with fabric covered airplanes, restoration work. All these planes date back to the 1930s or late 1940s. They'll take a plane that's basically completely a basket case or a really worn out plane, and they just totally go through it and make it brand new. Plus they do standard regular maintenance. This plane's getting its annual inspection. This plane's getting some repairs. This plane was completely restored by Ryan and Corey. This is a 1948 Taylor Craft. It's a beautiful airplane.
Where was this originally built?
Alliance, Ohio.
What was the city?
Alliance?
Alliance.
Nope. 1946.
This is a Decathlon. It's kind of a sport airplane. They use it for aerobatics.
Mm-hmm.
Can go upside down. That building belongs to the FAA. It's a control unit for that antenna array that's right there just past the attractor. That's called a localizer, and it's used so in bad weather they can come straight in, and that'll tell them exactly where the center line of the runway is from quite a ways out, from as far away as almost all the way to Mazomanie. And someone's booted up the lights, so something's coming in. But
How many runways and
we have the one main runway that's 5,000 feet, and then another one that's crosswise to it that's 2,000 feet, called the crosswind runway. Big planes and jets can't use the short runway, but they wouldn't have as much trouble with the wind. That's more for small planes. And the main runway at 5,000 feet will handle pretty much every corporate jet,
just shy of a mile?
just shy of a mile.
Yep.
You want to hit 5,000 feet because that's the cutoff for most insurance companies.
Oh, okay.
Less than 5,000, a lot of them don't want their people coming in. So
Yeah, you kind of want to end when
yeah,
the runway
which is
does.
one difference between us and the Richland Airport. Most of the big corporate jets that we get into here couldn't even have a chance of coming into Richland.
Right.
But Richland's excellent for planes like these. And of course, we got a fuel system. We sell both jet and 100 low lead. And we got both self-serve and a faster pump that I use for the jets that has what they call a single point coupling for hooks on for fat, like they have on an airliner. We get a lot of helicopters who come in, especially want you to use the self-serve pump. And we get aircraft through here all the time, during the day and at night. The National Guard uses this a lot for night training for their helicopters. We've got that long T-hangar building there, holds 10 airplanes. The county owns it and rents the spots out to the people who rent spots for their planes there for $125 a month. And then we've got quite a few private hangars where people pay ground rent, and then they build their own building. And they pay an annual ground rent fee.
How many acres is the whole thing?
About a little over 200.
200.
Yep, and we lease out the land we're not using for aviation operations as farmland to one of the local farmers, Jim Sprecher. But he can't irrigate because of all the equipment we have in the way, so and it's very sandy soil, so it's always kind of touch and go. We're kind of having a drought now, so he's really crossing his fingers.
What kind of aircraft would have been here during World War II?
They used a trainer called a PT-19. It's like it's open cockpit, low wing, 2 people, and then they also use Stearmans, which is a biplane. Those are the training planes that would have come from the Glenview Naval Air Station. And then of course there's individuals flying. There's been over the years, numerous flying clubs, a lot of individuals, a lot of them come and go.
Mostly the single prop?
Yeah,
Okay.
single engine primarily.
Single engine.
Although we've had quite a few twins on the field over the years, and it wasn't. I came here in '89, and I think we got our first jet showed up in '95. That was Cardinal Glass, and then it's grown. We'll have a total of about 4 jets on the field here shortly, which is more than previously.
What are some of the big names in the corporate jets?
Who use this field?
The manufacturer.
Oh,
There's one in the Fox Valley, I think.
Cessna is big, and that behind you there is a Cessna Citation, but that's a small one. Now Cardinals are like twice the size of that jet, and some of the others, their names like Hawker comes in once in a while, Challenger.
I think there's one in Appleton, maybe.
I don't know if there's any manufactured there.
Maybe they just
that
do
may be
the-
just serviced.
Or they
Of course,
retrofit
yeah,
it too.
yeah. Appleton actually takes airliners, so that's a whole different classification of airport than this one. But Cessna, with their Citation line, is pretty much.
Whatever happened to Lear?
Oh, we get Lears every once in a while. They definitely still have Lears out there.
Okay. I've never owned one.
Yeah, Lears are a very fast jet, but they're not a short field jet. They need all of that 5,000 feet, whereas a jet like this can come in on half of that distance. So But if you want, we could drive down and see the new Cardinal
Oh,
hangar. if you
sure.
want to.
First of all, we're going to go check out the food service. What is the name of the restaurant?
It's called Sam's Airport Diner.
Okay.
It used to be called the Piccadilly Lily, but she gave it up, and a fella named Mike Ramos has taken it over, and he does a pretty good job. He has difficulty finding enough help, but everyone does lately.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, run the place.
Yep.
Mike's there as the operator, but these are the two actual workers
These are the two who actually
who
work.
actually make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking to the waitress, and she said that they're busy at breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and lunch. of
We get a
course.
fair number of drive-ins for breakfast,
Oh, sure.
as well as a flying in.
Hmm.
Okay.
And when was this building built?
This is the one built in 23.
This was 1923.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're open, I think, till 1:30. You said
2 o'clock.
open till 2 o'clock on weekdays for sure.
Well, he's open lately. He shortened his hours because of trouble having help. So he's open on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday,
Okay.
and closed on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Windstorm blew that away.
Windstorm.
Yeah, we had a heck of a windstorm Saturday night. There was stuff that blew all over the place.
Wow.
So Cardinal Glass donated, I think it was around $320,000 to do the initial engineering and acquire the land where the ditch would go, and that got it all passed through both the Bureau of Aeronautics and the Federal Aviation Administration, so we could get the grant. I guess they weren't going to do anything until they knew we had some skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I can take you down here and you can get a shot of the runway.
Yeah.
This is all newly reconstructed just last summer.
What is the legal width of these runways?
The taxiways are 60 feet wide, and the main runway is, well, the taxiways are 50 feet wide. The short runway is 60 feet wide, and the main runway is 70 feet wide.
Okay.
Which is good enough for any corporate jet. You couldn't land an airliner, obviously. And the red lights you see right there, those are called PAPIs. That stands for Precision Approach Path Indicator. And if the plane is too low coming in, they're red, meaning the danger. If they're too high, they're white, which means they're too high. And then if you got one red, one white, then you're right on the proper approach angle, and it'll take you right down to the numbers on the runway. And then they've got these things here. You probably saw them flashing before the scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that helps them find the runway if it's dense. And out there, there's a sensor array. I could drive you out there.
Yeah.
Where belongs to the National Weather Service, and so if you get a weather report or you see the weather on the evening news, and it says Lone Rock, all of that data is coming from this island of sensors right here in the middle of the airport. And this is Jim Sprecker's beans that look a little thirsty.
Oh. Jim Sprecker's beans.
So the rotating beacons on top of that big pole right here. Then we got the windsock. And this here is the the array, the sensor array for the National Weather Service. They own this unit and they service it. And basically it gives you ceiling height that it does with a laser beam. And it gives you visibility, you know, distance, wind speed, temperature, both regular temperature and the dew point.
Lone Rock is referred to by the weather people as like the temperature in Lone Rock, or the
Right,
you know.
right. And if you hear that, that's what you're getting is from here.
Okay. Well, being in a river valley, you don't have the problem being closer to Richland Center, which is some of the flatland is kind of sparse in all the hills.
Yeah, yeah. There's a fair amount of flatland around here. It's probably why they built it right here, is because it's so flat. And it was, at that time, back in the 1920s and 30s, it was so dry and sandy you couldn't hardly farm it.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be Cardinal Glass's new hangar for the 2 big jets. Just the dimension on the building is going to be 150 by 120 feet. It's a good sized building.
$150 by $120.
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't seen the plans, but that's kind of what they told me.
Scheduled this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking they want to get it done by this fall. They like to be able to put their jets in a hangar in the winter so they don't get any snow on them, snow and ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are all private hangars. People lease the ground and then build their own hangar. There's a couple more on the ramp there behind. You know Ed Lineweber, right? Jim?
Oh yes. Yep.
I'll show you his hangars right over here, where he has this Aero Lab project. It's a kit plane that he builds and sells.
I wasn't sure if he still flew.
Oh yeah, he flies pretty regular. He's got 3 airplanes that he flies, and then the Aero Lab project. This is his hangar right here. This one belongs to Mizey. That picture he's got there is a picture of the kit plane that they make the kit and sell it.
But he must have gotten his license sometime in the late 80s, I'm thinking, or early 90s.
I would say late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
We were out here, I mentioned this, but quite a few years ago, we were making a movie, and I asked him if he could, as he's ready to land, do a loop-the-loop in the air. And he said, yes, but I can only do that once. And I didn't quite understand what he meant, but it was kind of like he didn't want to do it, or...
Depending on the airplane, that might have been a bad idea.
I'm sure it was a bad idea.
Some planes can do it. That Decathlon you saw in there can do it easily.
Why is that special built? As
Yeah,
far
they
as
make the spars, the wing spars stronger. Has to do with just how the plane's designed, what it's capable of. Well, anything else you want to see?
I don't think so. We've seen the restaurant and the terminal.
Right. This is 10-unit hangar building there. I don't know if you know Tom Williams. He's a dentist there.
I just saw him.
Yeah, this is his hangar. He has a beautiful Cessna airplane in there.
How long has he been flying? I kind of forgot that he...
Well, you know, time goes by so quickly.
Yeah.
I would guess around 15 years, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It must be nice just to say, well, instead of buying airline tickets, I want to fly to Florida from Lone Rock.
Well, some guys do that.
Yeah.
We got a guy in the field, Ron Fedler, has a jet, puts in one of these hangars that he flies he has a place in Idaho he flies to, and then he has a place in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, that he flies to.
It's a time saver when you think of, I mean, sure, it's a slower speed when you're in the air, but you don't have to fiddle around with all
You don't have to deal with it.
with a lot of
A
stuff.
lot of stuff, yeah. And it depends on how fast an airplane you own.
I think Mike Kaufman said his was,
He has a Bonanza.
yeah, I forgot what the speed, 225.
That sounds about right.
I suppose when you're working at an airport, as long as you have been, you kind of know people by what they fly more than oh I know him, he flies a Piper.
Yeah. Well, I know people, but yeah, if I see a plane coming in, I might likely know who's flying it. So.
Have you always had an interest in aircraft?
Yeah, I started out as an aircraft mechanic and did that from '89 until 2004. And then I took over just as airport manager, and that's when Ryan and Corey came in and set up their business here.
Okay. And what do you fly?
I don't fly.
You don't fly?
No. Don't have a medical.
Okay.
I mean, I know how to fly. I learned how to fly, and I used to fly, but I don't fly anymore. Although I do go up with friends once in a while. If someone wants, they'll say, "Hey, Mark, let's go up,"
Yeah.
and I get to fly.
Is this person going somewhere?
Yeah, he's probably going home.
Going home.
He came for lunch.
Well, I'll hang around and get a shot of it taking off.
Yeah. See, where's the wind out of it? Get an idea if which way he's going. He'll probably just go straight out because there's no wind.
No, there is no wind. 1:09 Monday afternoon, the 31st. No wind.
No wind.
You must be Sam.
Nope, I'm Sam's son,
You're Sam's son,
Mike.
Mike, and you have the Sam's restaurant.
Airport Diner in Lone Rock.
Okay.
Spring Green, Wisconsin.
Well,
Lone
the address
Rock
is
Airport.
Spring Green. Yep.
This is Spring Green.
How long have you run that?
2 years, a little over 2.
Do you get in there and just kind of yell at people and yell?
Scream and holler top of my lungs. You can hear me from across the county.
Does that get their attention, or they kind of tune it out?
They've tuned it out.
Okay.
No, it's a good group, good bunch of people.
I just ordered a deluxe bacon cheeseburger to go.
And we'll see what you get.
Well, I know. I'm not picky though. It doesn't matter.
That helps.
When I skipped, I didn't have time for breakfast, so we're out here waiting for this plane to take off.
Yep, those are a couple boys from Portage.
Ah, okay.
Came down to eat. They come down once a week. A lot of pilots come in once, twice a week and eat from Illinois, Ohio, Iowa. Get them all over Minnesota. Get them from all over the place.
All over.
Just
Any,
had Oshkosh traffic last week. We're only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so nothing through the week. Caught them going to Oshkosh and leaving Oshkosh.
How is your Sunday crowd? Breakfast, anything?
Sunday's our busiest day.
Okay.
We don't advertise at all. Monday's picking up quite a bit. We're the only place around that's open on Mondays.
Well, that's true. That's right. Everybody tends to take the long.
So we don't claim to be 5-star, 4.5's just fine.
You're just fine.
Just fine. We're fine with 4.5.
Mm-hmm. I guess you don't need stars all the time.
No, we don't need that. See, if you're 5.5, you got to put up with people's crap, and I'm not good at that.
Yep.
So we're
And
going.
they'll point to
4.5.
us and say, "Look, you claim to be this many stars," but this way you say, "But we don't have any."
Yeah. Most of the time, I tell them if they want fine dining, go into Spring Green.
Right. That's exactly right.
So that's okay. He's down there just doing a little run up. Now he's coming back onto the strip. See if we can get him to wag his wings. No, he can't see. Yeah, we get a lot of plane traffic in here. We have Johnson Brothers flying service over here. They bring in a lot of airplanes.
How long have they been there?
Oh, I think they've been there 9 years maybe.
9 years.
Yeah, a couple good guys. They live in Mineral Point. They're down here. Got a lot of Oshkosh winters. They redo airplanes. Well, he fooled me. He's going off the other way. Of course, he's going to Portage, so why would he fly the pattern?
That's right. EAA just finished up, or is it still going?
Yesterday was the last day,
Okay.
I believe. So we still got a couple planes in today, stragglers. A few yesterday. Gas price is a big deal, you know, depending on where they go.
Is this usually more expensive than if you were to fill up your car at a gas station?
Well, this is $6 a gallon. Like in my planes, I put in premium non-ethanol. It's a couple bucks cheaper a gallon, but it's not the same kind of gas.
Right. Yeah.
It's 100 low lead. But if you're gonna put auto gas in, it's got to be premium non-ethanol.
I didn't know you could put auto gas in a
You
plane.
got to have an STC for it. But the key thing is non-ethanol premium. Saves you some money if you fly a lot.
I'm gonna go check my bacon deluxe whatever I ordered.
We'll see what you get. Let's go in there and see.
So
what
every
you get.
time a plane comes in, do you run out here and wave a menu?
Yeah, I shoot at them.
Do you? I don't think you do that. You probably just wave at them.
It's all good. They know we're here.
Yep. We'll see what I ordered.
It's gonna be a mystery. The cook's probably wondering what it was.
We'll see.
I have to put you on the spot for some pistachio cookie pie. That's some real good stuff there.
On a hamburger?
No, dessert.
Oh, no, just a hamburger is fine.
She's almost got it ready for you, pal.
Okay.
Let's set you over here.
It's to go, right?
Oh, you wanted to go?
I think I told her that.
That was to go, pal. Well, I guess she knows.
Yeah, but don't yell at her.
Oh, that's after you leave.
Okay, well then.
So let's get this thing.
Oh, I already paid.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you go.
Boy,
Oh, he already paid?
are you sure you work here?
That must be most of the time, what do you spend a lot of time editing, huh?
Not too much. Well, it depends. This won't take much editing. Because you're easy to edit because you didn't stop talking. Just one long
There you
string.
go. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
The
easy.
people who stop, start, those are the hardest ones to
Sure,
edit.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, we don't,
And you close at 2 o'clock today.
2 o'clock.
And it is 1:21, so I made it just in time.
Yep. If somebody shows up, 5 or 10 till, we'll serve them.
Oh boy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Napkin now.
Look at this. Look at this. Ooh.
Would you like a napkin?
I have a roll of paper towel in the car. I'm a pig.
All right.
She says, all right. All right, thank you.
Okay, you saved us some money. Good deal.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to come back tomorrow just for napkins. That'll show you. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be closed tomorrow. So
Well, I'll try. Well, maybe
that's Friday.
next Friday. All right, thanks.
Buddy, see you later.
All righty.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Coming up around Richland Center, there's a lot to do. There's another weekend of where you'd be able to see the Community Players production of Heidi. It's time to buy tickets for the Culpeper and Merriweather Circus that's coming to town on August 13th and 14th. And of course, the Woodman Aquatic Center is open. So Make your plans and enjoy the fun. Come back next week.